Alrighty. I think we're live. I just want to make sure that we're live. Yeah, we are live. And welcome to Real Fridays. Yeah, sorry that I was slightly delayed, but I between meetings and just getting my act together here. Let me move you to the right screen. So weird. I have no functional. I have like no. Okay, here we go. Looks like my mouse wouldn't work. There you go. No, I appreciate it. I think our job here at Real Fridays is literally to make it the most difficult as possible to watch this program. So just by throwing it out there from 12:30 to 12:50 kind of tries to just keep the audience guessing,
Yeah, make it a little harder every week for people to participate.
Well, Jeremy definitely does that.
Jeremy, thought about joining us from a restaurant where he's hanging out with other mortgage industry people, but instead, definitely will not.
Oh, that's great. No, that's good. No, I love I love Jeremy's consulting, and I think he's doing a lot of good work in the industry. And so I'm excited to hear more about his meetings today and what he has to bring for us next week. I did get confirmation from the president of Better.com. So Better is going to be joining us here sometime in the next month or so. We'll be able to market the event once it's confirmed as far as the actual date. But I'm excited. I actually like Better.com a lot. I like this strategy a lot.
That's Chad Smith, their new-ish president, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, for a company that's been through what they've gone through, and still to be a top 50 player, I think is outstanding. And their digital strategy, I think, is really substantial. It's very innovative in the way they've tackled the mortgage market, and they've really integrated a number of sort of partnership opportunities that to kind of sort of align and synergize the mortgage experience in a way that that I see very few other companies actually doing. So I'm actually I'm kind of looking up Better's numbers right now. Actually, what are they? As far as their ranking in total production. Do you know their ranking offhand?
Not recently.
I thought they were top 50, but it looks like they're top 100. They've done about it's incredible. I mean, they look like they've done more than this. They look like they've done.
They got as high as what? Certainly top 30, top 20.
Oh yeah, they were top 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they've done $3 billion in loans, 3.2.
Yeah. Yeah, they. I mean, I left Rocket in 2021, as did Jeremy. If he was here, he'd say the same thing. We were following Better very closely at that time. They were, with all the innovation we were working on at Rocket, they were working on a lot of different details, but a lot of the same overarching principles that they were going for, and have achieved a lot of. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Look, I'm excited to learn more about their strategy and what it is that they're actually, aiming to do in this next chapter of the next 3 years of the mortgage market. So I think it'll be a very insightful interview, and I think I think it's going to challenge a lot of independent mortgage banks that are aiming to stay relevant. Yeah,
and I mean, to keep the Real Fridays branding. I mean, they've seen some really serious problems and some really serious scandals, and have come back from it, and so it'll be. I've heard nothing but good things about Chad. I don't know him personally, but have a lot of mutual partners and friends in the industry who are really excited that he's out there at Better, and think it's going to be really great. Turnaround and whatever you want to. I don't know if turnaround maybe is too strong of a word, but rebuilding, retooling. For all the assets they already have.
Look, I can promise them that the Zoom that we have with them and that episode with them will be far better of an experience than the original Zoom that they became infamous over. So I think
it won't be worse.
But no, tell me a little bit more about your week. Like, how was your week? And I know we're preparing to go to the NBA. How are you preparing your your meetings and stuff? Do you have a lot of meetings ahead of time? And I know you guys are having a party or something at the NBA in Denver.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like we're kind of hitting one of those inflection points at NewZip, right? Where it's, last year I went to a lot of conferences by myself without, too much connection. 2 years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, last year, maybe Adi, our CEO and founder, and I went together, and we're still kind of piecing it together. We're getting just more hooks in the industry all the time in terms of current partners in our pipeline, strategic partners. For example, we had the HomeBot CEO come on here a few weeks ago on this show. We're going to be hanging out with them a little bit out there. They're based in Denver. They're throwing some events and whatnot. So we're just getting more and more plugged in strategically as well as with lenders. So yeah, we reached a point where we're bringing a few more people to the conference. We are hosting an event the last night for people that are there. It's kind of a smaller dinner at the moment. We have room for some more people. So feel free to reach out to anyone listening that's interested. It's mainly industry friends and advisors as well as current partners. So should be fun.
HomeBot is really on the move. I mean, they've done a lot of innovation just even in the last year since we met. Well, we interviewed them. We interviewed their CEO several months ago, but I met their founder and their chairman of the board about a year ago as well, right?
Yeah. So we're sharing more partners with them all the time. We work with other companies in the space too. It's fun to see that space continue to innovate, both in terms of, I guess it's like two different sides, right? They have like the marketing and the client nurturing pieces, and then also all the lead buy space and like the direct consumer lead gen space that they aren't in, but they touch on. We play a lot with strategic partners in both. It's changing quick. It's changing really quick.
Wow, that's amazing. Now what else you focused on at the NBA? Is it primarily just the networking, or how is it?
Yeah. So I think we talked about this on here before, but yeah, I'm on a committee with the NBA.
That's right.
There's impacts for people basically new to the mortgage industry, people, younger participants in the industry, trying to learn and get mentorship and things like that. So there's an event for Impact. I'll go to the NBA conference, some of this stuff itself, of course. And just going to see a ton of friends and partners at their events, and then hosting ours on Tuesday night. But yeah, we have a number of meetings set up. It's funny, organically having a lot of I think the industry is finding its footing, both in vendors and lenders that are kind of like in that NBA target audience. Because I'm like, I always find this to be an interesting phenomenon of like names I know, people I've worked with before are at other companies now. And so I'm catching up with a ton of people that maybe I partnered with 2 years ago. I mean, even like you and I are a good example, right? When you were at New American Funding and I was at EasyKnock, we worked on a huge partnership together, and now we're a couple stages later in our friendship and our industry partnership. And so I have a bunch of people like that I'm catching back up with. But yeah, we have a lot of actual lender serious pitches. Like I said, our CEO is coming. So I'll lead most of those. He'll be there for part of the time, or I'll lead all those. He'll be there part of the time. He's great at the visionary, big picture, why he founded the company level stuff that just plays so well at these conferences where people can zoom out and think about where they want their consumer experience to be next year, where they want their workflows to be 3 years from now, like some of the bigger questions other than maybe immediate production, which obviously we can help with as well. But it's fun to get, like we saw at Housing Wire 2 weeks ago. It's fun to get people zoomed out, thinking more like the Jeremy Potter level of the future of the lending experience.
I know Jeremy often will express his either dissatisfaction or his pessimism around the pace at which innovation takes root within mortgage companies. I almost couldn't be more optimistic, because I think the competitive there's all it takes is a couple of mortgage companies or a few really noteworthy mortgage companies, like a Better or even like it could be even like an NFM, that are driving the cost of origination down and really looking at the market differently. That before it puts too much pressure competitively on most everyone else to either adopt or die.
Absolutely.
No,
I'm hearing every day of one thing you asked about my week, so I'll recap that for a second. I launched another new partner this week and went out for NewZip, a new lender, and it's another depository bank, federally chartered bank, but focused in one region, focused in the Northeast, that's building out a direct consumer national strategy, and so they're kind of launching NewZip day one, along with certain lead sources, lead buys, to basically build ground up a direct consumer business, or I should say backup. They've had it in the past, but now they're getting refocused on mortgage, refocused on purchase. And that's the, third or fourth partner like that specifically, where it's a depository that's getting back aggressive about mortgage, buying leads, bringing in new vendors, bringing in new consumer experience. That stuff, I mean, I obviously grew up in the middle of the IMB world in Rocket, like very insular to only seeing that experience. But I love seeing so many different types of lenders, so many different types of financial institutions innovating in their own ways to get better at mortgage, to get better at really home buying in general. I mean, NewZip hits a lot of the other buttons other than mortgage that sit around mortgage. So it's been a ton of fun for me the last, I would say, few weeks even. Last like 6 weeks, maybe since the rate cut. I'm not sure. The Fed rate cut, I should say. Mortgage rates are about the same. But it's I'm part of my job is that you have to be really bullish on the future of the industry, or I'd never be able to sell anything. But I definitely am.
What's the what hotel are you staying at in Denver?
I'm staying at the Marriott. I don't know. There's like 2 or 3 Hilton properties, 1 Marriott property right there. I'm at whatever the Marriott is. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to go, if I'm going to go. I'm still trying to figure that out. I know we're cutting down to the wire. I got your invitation today. That to put it on my calendar to your party.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. The Courtyard Marriott. I'm going in Sunday afternoon, leaving Wednesday morning. So I'll be there basically for the duration.
Got it. Oh, so Sunday to Wednesday?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people will come in Monday or leave Tuesday. Our event's a little on the late side, to be honest, Tuesday night, but there's so much going on Monday that we figured we'd do a quieter event the last night.
Okay, got it. So then maybe I'll just maybe I'll leave Monday and then leave. Head to Denver Monday and then just come back Wednesday.
Yeah, I think Monday night and Tuesday day will be like the heaviest of stuff, so that would probably work.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, good. One thing I wanted to, I don't know if you actually caught this. Let me see if I can present. Share my screen. I'm going to share my window. Okay, check this out. Okay. So looking at, obviously looking at Brian Views, I love actually how Brian's organization on his LinkedIn. Can you see my LinkedIn?
I can. Yeah.
Okay.
A young BV. Yep.
So look, Brian's an amazing figure, amazing guy. He runs a very smart technology company and called FinLocker, but he's been a real innovator in both in video, in his consistency in his posting. He's got 32,000 followers, which is exceptional, and so he's been sort of looking at the top mortgage or the top most connected people in the industry. And so this is such a fascinating post for a variety of reasons. And I was curious as to your takeaways on it. So he did this post here, and it was essentially, oh shit, hold on. He did this post here, and it was essentially,
I did see it. Yeah.
Basically the most connected people, the top 50 of the most connected people in LinkedIn that he tracks, and he's physically manually tracking this. And he looks at himself right in there, and that right just below Greg Scher, obviously one of the managing partners and executives over at NFM Lending, where I'm at. And but 32,000 is massive. I mean, I'm hovering around 19,000, and to have 32,000 is just a massive audience. But what were some of the takeaways? What was interesting to you?
Well, there's a lot that's interesting to me, and I haven't spent as much time looking at it as I should to answer that question fully. But one thing that I think is interesting is just like, I'm curious what the target, like what is the, how many people are there on LinkedIn that would be considered in the mortgage or let's say housing industry? It's got to be more than 56,000, but like it's probably not much more. Like almost everyone?
Well, we know that there's approximately, I think, 300,000 people in mortgage and housing. I think in the mortgage business, I believe.
Yeah.
About
there used to be 2 million realtors. Now there's more like 1 million realtors. So technically,
that's excluding realtors. That's excluding.
Yeah,
realtors.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So there are some huge numbers. So there's
within mortgage origination. So let's say there's 300,000 people.
Yeah.
And I think we know that 85 to 90% of workers in the United States, I think, have a LinkedIn profile.
That's
yeah.
So
it might be 85%, but it's without a doubt north of 80%. And
so we would think there's at least 200,000 plus mortgage industry people on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
500,000, 600,000 plus real estate people. So anyway, all that to say, I was kind of thinking it's kind of interesting that so many people are hovering around the same numbers. There's so many platforms that are like winner takes all, like like Twitter and Instagram and whatever, where the top people have just millions and then everyone else has 2,000, right? This doesn't look like that at all. There's so many people that are distributed in the same range. So that's one thing I found really interesting off the bat.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight distribution. I'd love to I might even plot this out just to see like some sort of a dot plot where you actually can see where everyone is in their numbers bunched into a chart. Because I actually think that the spread starts to really because I have about 19,000 and I bet you there's, let's say 50 people. Let's say these are 50 people from 24,000 to 56,000. I bet you there's a much greater number of people from, see the spread here is about 25,000 from 24 to 56,000. So from 24, so certainly there's a lot more from 24,000 to 0, but I bet you that there's substantially probably 4x the number of people from probably 15,000 to 24,000. But that's going to be the one thing I'm gonna try to track down with Brian. Mike Cush says it's because of 30,000 cap on connections, and then you must follow versus connection. Well, no, that's fair, right? That's fair, Mike. But at the same time, these are connections, right? Or excuse me, these aren't connections; these are followers.
These are followers, yeah.
So you can have unlimited. I mean, I've seen people that have 200,000 followers. So I think that. So what do you think Mike's point is? Is Mike's point?
I think Mike's point is that a lot of people never press follow on LinkedIn. That they only press connect. If that's not available, maybe they don't follow.
Well, no, I actually think his point might be because like Brian View can't accept any more connections, I don't think. And as a result, in order to follow or in order to be connected to Brian is that you have to follow him. Maybe, I don't know. And so maybe that's driven when he capped out the number of connections. Then all of a sudden it really drives your number of followers up, because if you can't quote unquote connect with anyone else, with the exception of that, then following them is all you can do. No, it's pretty fascinating. So so I'm going to do some analysis. What I did find was interesting is there's some folks here. I mean, like Casey Crawford is not all that active, or at least he doesn't come on my feed a heck of a lot. What's interesting is like I don't really know Meg Riley, for instance.
Yeah.
I know Sue. I don't know Mike. I don't. I I've heard of Bob, but I don't really know him very well. I'm not really sure.
Mike is like a prop tech guy. He speaks at all the real estate conferences about real estate innovation. So he's a little bit different tuning than most people on this list, but he's really famous in those circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems like I'd love to know the post to connection ratio or follower ratio, like what the volume of posts are to
and
their
the I don't know, tenure. How long have these people been posting? It's like I think Brian may have put it somewhere here. I don't remember. But however many years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he started posting daily. I wonder how many, in addition to volume, like how long they've been doing it. Like, have any of these people, I guess back to comparing it to other platforms, people build up virality very quickly on some platforms and very slowly on others. I do feel like just the nature of LinkedIn is that it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more volume based. It's not like Instagram or TikTok or something where one post can get you 100,000 followers. I don't think, which is probably good. Like it's rewarding people that are consistently active. Obviously, we're trying to be that with this show. In addition to, I know you do a lot more than me, but and Jeremy does probably the same amount as me or a little more of trying to share our own analysis every now and then on LinkedIn. So I'm nowhere close to this list. You're close. You could get in here before long. Jeremy, I think, is somewhere in the middle. He's maybe like 10 or 12,000 followers, I'm guessing, for him. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how many followers Jeremy has.
I have a long way to go with my 3,000 or 4,000. I think is what I'm learning.
Well, you're kind of an older. You're obviously a millennial, right? You're in that category.
Yeah.
So you're kind of, are you an older millennial? Well, I think culturally you're probably an older millennial because you don't seem very active on social, like at all.
I'm not. I used Twitter a lot at one point, but yeah, I basically don't post on social media. Pretty much like at LinkedIn, I post the most on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. One of the things I was gonna lay out is like on mine. I'm trying to. So do I? Yeah, I'm just below 19,000. 19,000 connections. But what's interesting is he had sent to me Brian View. I'm gonna actually download. I'm actually downloading his Excel spreadsheet. He actually sent me the spreadsheet, and I'm gonna share that.
Sure.
Here. Stop sharing, and then I'm gonna reshare. The file. Huh. A window, maybe? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. So I am, let's see, where am I? So we'll have to like figure out. So it looks to me that I am on this list. Where's Rick Rock? God, Don Mute. I saw. Oh, yeah. It looks like I'm number 84. I'm right below Shant, which is crazy.
That's pretty good. The number one LO in America is about the same as you.
Yeah, it would be interesting to plot this out, like literally just to kind of.
There's also like I wonder about everyone's engagement, like with the Matt Ishbias and Anthony Sheas of the world, or even like any of the top four. I'm curious, like, do they even post consistently? I don't think Anthony Shea does. I mean, he's like semi-retired board of directors. right? Like his industry reputation is just so good and so long standing.
Yeah.
As the Loan Depot, everything steward, what is he, founder, chairman?
Yeah, that's interesting. Gosh, it's interesting. This
Maybe you could look at like growth in the past 12 months or something. How about that? Like see how people are trending, I guess is kind of my point. Because some of these people may have had these followers for 10 years, 20 years, however long LinkedIn's been around.
Trying to like get the interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with this. This is really interesting. It's interesting just to see the magnitude. I guess it didn't drop as fast as I thought, which is interesting.
It's honestly really, really very tight distribution. Like no one 100,000 plus, no one high on the list that's much lower. Like I would have thought if the top is 50,000, a little over 50,000, I thought 19 or 20,000 would be in the top 50 for sure. It's like there's so many in that range. I also find the Brian View mutuals interesting. How's your overlap with him?
Yeah, I have a pretty substantial overlap.
I'm sure with my small following, I'm sure it's.
Yeah, I'm 24% mutual. So I mean, from a mutual connection standpoint, it's kind of interesting. If I go, yeah, so that's interesting. So I'm not even in his top 50 in mutuals, but he's got I'm number 60 in his mutual.
Interesting stuff. Anyway, yeah. There's Brian's definitely, this is very interesting data for many reasons, including like industry reputation, industry growth. Would love to see like some sort of trend on who's growing, who's not. But yeah, I mean, let's just stop for a second and say like what Brian has built, associating his brand both with FinLocker, but also with just a general industry advisor, friend, steward, like it is pretty amazing. And I feel really lucky to have worked with him quite a bit. We did a partnership at my last company with FinLocker. We integrate and play nice between NewZip and FinLocker with the partners we overlap and are trying to get better and better at that over time. And just he's been so helpful and welcoming to me as someone new to a lot of the industry events a few years ago.
Yeah. No, that what's interesting is, can you imagine? What's interesting to me is the diversity that people have. Like, obviously, I'm pretty heavily concentrated, but you look at people that are in that top. Like, here's this Mike Del Pret. Only 1%. He's got mutual with Brian View.
Yeah, I mean, his following is honestly super different. He's like a VC prop tech guy. He's like my old world of easy knock type companies.
And I'm. I wonder how long it's taken, because I only took LinkedIn seriously probably the last few years.
Sure. Yeah. That would be super interesting. I think especially with the very top of this list, like Anthony and Matt and Casey and these like long-standing industry titans, have they? Are they even very active, or are they just are going on their reputation off platform? You know what I mean? Is their reputation built on LinkedIn or off LinkedIn type thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off LinkedIn for those guys, on LinkedIn for a lot of these other guys and gals.
Yeah, Dustin with Lower and his show. Patty's been all over the place at New American Funding. Especially in the Latino community, but she does a lot, and she's very visible from a PR standpoint. Denise
Tony Thompson started a few different industry groups.
Who's that?
Tony Thompson started a few different industry like trade groups and things like that. That's good to see him.
Oh, that's Tony. That's the mortgage bankers, the minority mortgage bankers guy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Yeah. NAMBA. There we go. NAM.
Yeah, National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers. Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good steward for the industry in general and that group. Yeah.
No, this is good. I think this is powerful. I'm gonna really. I'll send you this document, by the way. just for the sake of your own consumption. And just, if you ever do refer to it, just tag Brian on it just to give him sort of credit. But no, I love this document. There's a lot of digestion that could occur here. And, my sphere of connections are obviously in mortgage and housing. I haven't even touched sort of the real estate market, but I don't really know how active real estate agents are on LinkedIn.
Real estate agents are hit or miss, but there's quite a bit of like real estate innovation, VC, prop tech stuff. My LinkedIn was probably more active or similar to what it is today when I was focusing on that, I guess, side of the fence a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of had a foot in both canoes.
Yeah. That's fascinating. So I'll make sure to send this off to you. How do I end the stop screen share? Good. But yeah, no. So as far as the conference schedule is winding down, obviously the NBA is in just over a week, and then after that, I think for me it's just January.
Yeah, we are going. New Zip and myself will be attending Lending Tree Summit. That's kind of a more niche event, smaller event, but it's big in our world, and we have quite a few partners that work with Lending Tree, so we'll be there the week after MBA. I'm doing a lot of partner site visits, whatever you want to call it. I was in Jacksonville earlier this week. I was in Atlanta last week, so doing a lot of that sort of travel. But yeah, the conference season is definitively winding down. Back in January, we have that New England Expo event that you were talking about that we'll try to do a panel together with Potter. And then I like that NBA IMB event. I'm not sure where it is this year, but that's a good one.
It's in Austin, I think.
Oh, perfect. That's where half our company is. So I can.
Yeah, I'm almost certain it's in Austin. Yeah, it is in Austin, Texas, January 27 to 29. But yeah, no, so January is going to start off with a bang, I think. But I am working on one of my first sort of acquisitions with NFM. So I'm excited to hopefully, fingers crossed, close that and have some good things to announce here come the first quarter of 2025. So
excellent.
Things are progressing really well. The company moves really fast, both from a decision-making standpoint, but just from things just flow really smoothly, and we'll pick up quite a bit of production. So I'm real excited to announce that when it's appropriate, but there's a lot of conversations that are happening. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah. And we got to get you the proper audience at New Zip with NFM.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe even at MBA. Love to have Greg come to dinner if he's available too. But whenever, we love how you guys think about the world, how Greg thinks about the world in terms of the hybrid loan officer model with using influencers, using top of funnel leads, but also the power of the local relationships. So I honestly think with you guys and with most of our partners, because we do a lot of custom work for every partner, but that there's some unique things we could do together versus just what we do out of the box. That'd be a fun conversation.
I'm definitely excited to do that. Well, what I'll do is, why don't we try to rope in Jeremy here next week, and then we'll be announcing here sometime soon to the audience when Better will be joining us, and then we'll be always on the hunt for good, engaging leaders to be on the on the VideoCast, so we can interview them and talk about the future of the business and how they're aiming to disrupt it. So let's really keep a sharp eye out. Let's get some really cool and exciting people on this. Yeah,
there are a couple people I'm talking to about coming on as well who could be like a pretty big job announcements where they're changing companies within the industry.
Okay, good.
So there's two such conversations that could be interesting. But obviously they have to go through the proper channels and do those at the right time. So
I saw your friend who joined New Zip a year ago. what's her name again? I apologize.
Who joined Newzip?
Yeah, Julie.
Oh, she joined New Res.
Yeah, or New Res. I apologize. Yeah,
who is incidentally a partner.
But when she joined New Res, she kind of announced that she was about 30 days into her role. She came on our show and talked about that. So I just noticed that she celebrated.
Yeah, that's. I told you I thought we'd been doing this for over a year now. That's confirmation. She hit her year anniversary today. At New Res. I was just talking.
Yeah, she's very, very smart. I love it. I love the work that she's doing.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, let's wrap this up, man. Happy Friday and October 18th. And so I'm looking forward to next Friday, but let's keep things rolling.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick.
Take care, buddy.
Talk to you later.